"What's going on with you, Lance?" Samuel Gunn said, not wasting any time lighting into him. "Lyle and Logan called today, claiming you're not taking their calls. Even your dad called today asking about you. It's not like you to not keep a check on your old man." "What the hell is going on? I've called you several times and you didn't call back." Lance threw back the covers and pivoted to sit on the edge of the bed. He had avoided his brother's and father's phone calls. Too much pain surrounded his heart, and he hadn't wanted to talk to anyone. "Look, Sam, I can't talk to you right now, and—" "The hell you can't! I'm downstairs in the lobby. I'm coming up, and your ass better let me in." There was a click in Lance's ear when Sam hung up the phone. Lance closed his eyes and inhaled deeply. Although he knew it was utterly impossible, he was convinced he could still pick up Asia's scent from the one time she had been in his home. She'd lain in this very bed while he tasted her, pleasured her, did everything short of sexual intercourse. The moment he had eased his face between her legs, he had inhaled her delicious feminine fragrance, and then he practically devoured her. It was as though an ache had moved from his groin to settle in the muscles of his tongue, making it throb relentlessly, and he knew of only one way he could satisfy the pulsating sensation. For the first time he could remember, he had held tight to a woman, had clung to her while exploring her intimately. Later, feeling her climax while his tongue had been inside her, kissing her in the most intimate way a man could kiss a woman, had been the single most erotic thing he had ever done in his life. And by the time he finished, he had fallen madly and completely in love with her. Lance decided to put on a pot of coffee, since there was no telling how long Sam would be staying. Although a part of him wasn't up for company, there was no way he could keep his best friend out. The two of them had always been there for each other, from the time they were tots attending Mrs. Mary's Little Lamb's daycare, forging a bond that had lasted all of their 33 years. After slipping into a robe, he walked to the living room. He had left the blinds open, and the view of Lake Michigan from his 20th floor window was magnificent tonight. He loved living in Chicago. On his way to the kitchen, Lance caught a glimpse of the Playas Handbook, a book he had written, and his ultimate downfall. Oh, the sales were great, since it was still in its 20th week on the Times bestseller list. He had signed a very lucrative 2-book deal, and his agent, Carl Kilgore, was already breathing down his neck about when he'd start penning the next $1 million seller. Even now, he should be doing research, deciding on the topic for his next title. But his mind had gone blank. For the first time in his life, he knew how it felt to have writer's block. He had been tempted to tell Carl just where he could take the book and shove it, since Lance blamed the fact that he had lost the one woman he had ever loved on its existence. He shook his head. Love? Yes, love. Of all people, he, Dr. Lance Montgomery, had fallen in love. And had fallen hard. If anyone would ever have suggested such a thing to him months ago, he would have cursed them out and cut off their damn head. The word love had not been a part of his vocabulary. His motto was that he didn't love women, he played them. And he played them well. Over the years, he had perfected a strategy that guaranteed him any woman he wanted. Even the hottie of the hottiest couldn't resist the Lance Montgomery charm when he laid it on thick. He had been dubbed the King of the Playas, the man whose Playas card would never expire. He had proudly written those books that glamorized the art of being single, and he'd found it downright amusing when the Playas Handbook got a rise out of the female population. At the time, the uproar hadn't particularly fazed him. If anything, it had annoyed him that the women were quick to place blame on him and not where he felt it belonged, on females themselves and the games they were known to play with men. No matter. Controversy was good for sales, and so was adverse publicity. The book had quickly shot to the bestsellers list, and it was still there. But then something had happened to him. He met Dr. Asia Fowler, a fellow relationship psychologist.